We had a trip to Chattanooga that didn't turn out the way we had planned, and first we'd give credit to a Chattanooga team that was well prepared, and I think by far the best Chattanooga team we played. As we suspected, we thought we were playing a really quality quarterback that had experience and had talent, and he directed his team very well. They had an extremely good balance of run and pass. I think they created an advantage consistently offensively, and were able to score points, move the ball. We were very disappointed in ourselves offensively, even though we got off to a fairly good start, and we're keeping up and sort of meeting the challenge of the score, but couldn't keep a rhythm offensively and the style of play that we are going to have to come to adjust ourselves to, primarily because of the penalties. We talked about doing things before the game, talked about doing things again at halftime, and yet when it came right down to the actual decisions, selections of what we did, it was dictated by circumstances, and we were the reason for those circumstances. I thought it was a hard-fought contest. I thought the point of on both sides. I thought where we let it get away from us was a long pass that actually we had our hands on. A.J. Davis did, and an interception return for touchdowns. A 14-point swing there that really we weren't able to do anything about. It was a game that we didn't have a kicking game advantage, and in fact, in all the ways that we measure what you have to do to win a game, we didn't really create an advantage anywhere. So again, credit to Chattanooga. We have to be very critical of ourselves. A lot of players that are very capable of making plays. We didn't get the plays made. I think we're still adapting coaching to put the players in the right situation to make those plays. But I do think that we've got a rather continuous flow of a new member because of circumstances, primarily injuries. We're getting a younger core of player, which is fine, because we wouldn't put them in there if we didn't think they couldn't do the job. But I think it has added to a degree of inconsistency. I think we've got to make adjustments and adapt our style of play and have a really focused week of getting blocking and tackling and assignment football down, because that's the beginning of the whole thing. And then go to play with the idea that we've got some skill that we have to put in place to give us more plays than people were playing against, which wasn't the case last week. I am, even under the circumstances of new faces and adapting planning, I'm optimistic that we can get this football team where it needs to be, but there is definitely a sense of urgency, as there has been for the last couple of weeks. But I don't see anything that's, as long as we stay focused, that is not where it needs to be to get us to where we can get the outcome out of this season that we started off as our goal. Any questions?
Coach Crowe,
Yep.
with another day after our conversation yesterday to look at it, can you share any more specifics on the adjustments or changes that you talked to me about yesterday?
That would be helping the other team.
Well, I mean, are there, beyond game
there is a bunch, and I guess I'd have to say buy a ticket, because You know, we've got to do a better job. Calvin didn't get the ball enough. We've got to do a better job of I mean, we're without starting with Odie and then going to Marquez, and even some things more than that. Not as defining as losing 2 players for the year. You know, we've found ourselves to where, you know, we weren't getting what we need to get out of our football team. First thing you look at and see if you're getting the right things out of the players. I think out of the older players, we are definitely on. But I think we may be fixing to put another freshman or sophomore, you know, at a position, because when you play like we've played the last couple, I mean, we're going out there to decide who's going to play this week and how we're going to play them. Practice is going to have a whole lot to decide where we go. So for me to be able to tell you that I can just look at the film, decide what the next film is going to look like, not without practice, not without a little more in-depthness that we've not really had a chance to do. Knowing it and doing something about it is 2 different things.
But it's more than you were talking. You had talked yesterday about organization.
Well, it is.
To me, that made it sound like practice plan, but
yeah,
it would be
but our practice is different this week. Okay, when I told you that,
right.
It starts with organization, and we've organized practice differently. We've organized, starting yesterday, our different approach and emphasis, offensively and defensively. Some major change, no. You know, in fact, the smarter we are, the less it'll look like it was much of a change. So the more subtle it is, the better it is. To be honest with you, we're trying to change the effect. The fact is, you know, you don't run for 80 yards or whatever it was it ran for. That's the effect. You're going to see the effect as you can look at the result of the game. We don't have a game where we don't win the kicking game. Actually, some things that gave us the win against UT Martin, we didn't bring back the next week. So, again, how much that's us, how much is Chattanooga? Like I said, give them some credit, but not all of it.
Monte, I know you've got to get out of here, so let me go through what I need to discuss with you. Just what's your take on what's been happening on the defensive side of the ball in the last couple of weeks? It's really yardage, and I know there's been a couple of big plays that have impacted that. But so much was built on how strong your defense was going to be, but the numbers, you know, don't show that. What's your take on what's been happening there?
Well, you know, without a doubt, you know, I still think, you know, that we're a strong defense. But you know, just coming into these past 2 games, I don't think like we were all there, you know, mentally. And you know, there was a lot of you know, mistakes, but you know, there's nothing that we can't, you know, correct. And you know, we learn from it, and you know, just watching film, you know, week in, week out. You know, we're gonna come out next week and you know, correct, you know, what we did wrong, and you know, things will come into place.
When you see the numbers, or you know, it's not, you know, beyond the scoreboard, but what the stats say, and you know, knowing how strong you expected defense, but what do you think of that when you see those figures or hear about them figures or people?
I really don't look at stats. I mean, you know, we go out there and we play, you know, hard as we can, and you know, just you know, hope for the you know, the best results, and you know, we you know, go back in, you know, start over, you know, work on what we messed up on, and you know, it'll come. Like, it's just gonna take time, but we're gonna get there.
And how's the play of the front 4 been? You know, that was the solid part. And I'm not saying that's the beginning of all what's been happening, because I think you guys are strong enough players. But how's this affected your guys' play?
No, I don't think it has affected us at all. But you know, we're part of the defense too, and you know, there's some things that we you know, need to correct too. So we just gonna go back in, you know, watch film, get better at practice, and carry it over to Saturday.
And then, can you just, what do you remember about last year's game with Georgia State, and how much different do you think they're going to be this year because they're in their 2nd year as a team instead of a 1st year as a team? And is that?
Well, no, they were a pretty good team last year. You know, not taking nothing from them, and you know, obviously, they've been working, and of course, you know, they've gotten better. So, you know, we're gonna go in and treat them as, you know, do any other team, and, you know, watch film on them, see what they do. You know, we're gonna adjust to it.
Would you expect them to be different this year than last year just because they're older in their program by 1 year? Because they were brand new last year.
Yeah, I mean, not much so different, but, you know, just probably more mature, you know, knowing, you know, themselves better as a team.
And then lastly, for me, just, you know, what do you think it'll take to turn around the defensive fortunes from here forward?
And we just gotta, you know, eliminate mistakes and, you know, come out and play hard.